I still remember her smirk when I walked through the door that evening, a smirk that said, "We won." My mother stood by the kitchen counter, arms crossed, the faint clinking of her bracelet echoing through the room. "Welcome back, traveler," she said, voice dripping with smug sweetness. "Guess what? Your car finally did something useful." My gut tightened. "My car?" I asked, even though I already felt the sting behind her tone. She grinned wider. "We sold it. Got a great deal, too. Your sister's in Santorini right now, living her best life. Thanks to you." That's when she laughed. A cold, satisfied laugh that cut deeper than I'd admit. I smiled back, slowly, deliberately. "Really?" I said, my voice calm. "That's great." She frowned at my tone. "What's so funny?" I leaned against the doorway, hands in my pockets. "Because the car you sold wasn't mine." Her smile vanished. It's strange the way betrayal feels when it comes from the people who raised you. It doesn't sting like heartbreak, it rots. Quietly. That car wasn't just metal and wheels to me. It was mine in the truest sense. I'd spent 3 years building it, weekends in the garage, every bolt, every upgrade, every cent of my savings. It was the first thing I ever owned outright. My father called it a waste of time. My mother called it a boyish obsession. My sister called it cute. I called it freedom. When I left for my business trip, a deal that could change my life, I told my parents I'd park the car at their place for a week. Just a week. My mistake was trusting them with the keys. The first sign came 2 days into the trip. My sister's Instagram, champagne, ocean view, designer luggage. I knew her lifestyle. She couldn't afford any of that, not with the debt she carried. But the captions? "Finally, life is good. Thanks to family love." Made my stomach turn. I called home. No answer. I texted. Left on red. By day 3, I already knew something was off. My father, the moral compass of the family, suddenly blocked me from accessing the garage's security camera feed. My mother told me to focus on work when I asked about it. By day 4, I had confirmation. My car's insurance was canceled. I didn't explode, didn't curse, didn't yell. I just smiled to myself and thought, perfect. Because what they didn't know was that the car, the one they thought they sold, wasn't the original. 3 months earlier, I'd sold my real sports car quietly to a collector for triple its market value. The one sitting in my parents' garage was a replica shell. Same color, same details, same VIN number, clone. Worthless under the hood. And inside it, a GPS tracker, a dash cam set to cloud upload, and a discreet clause in the title under my name that made unauthorized sale a case of fraudulent transfer of stolen property. They had no idea. So when I landed back home and she gloated about funding my sister's dream vacation, I already had everything I needed. 2 hours later, while they were still celebrating, I called the buyer my parents sold to, an unsuspecting businessman. I told him who I was, sent him the VIN report, the fake ownership, and proof of fraud. Within 30 minutes, he filed a complaint. By the time I finished dinner, the police were already knocking on my parents' door. The look on my mother's face when she opened it, priceless. The shock, the confusion, the panic bleeding through her voice as she tried to explain that it was our son's car. The officer turned to me. "Sir, you're the legal owner, correct?" I nodded. "Yes." And I never gave consent to sell. My sister called from Greece that night, screaming. Her cards were frozen, her trip funds traced. The car money had already been seized pending investigation. And my parents? They were summoned for questioning under family financial fraud and identity misrepresentation. I didn't have to lift a finger after that. The law did the rest. It's been 6 months now. The house they once mocked me from is quieter. My sister's back home, bitter and broke. My parents live off limited pensions, the rest tied up in restitution. I visit sometimes just to remind myself how easily people can destroy trust, and how easily I can rebuild myself from the ashes they left. They still don't know I planned it all long before they ever betrayed me. The truth is, I stopped being their obedient son the day I overheard my mother tell my sister, "He'll always come back. He's weak for us." That night, I decided to stop coming back. So when she sneered that day, saying, "Thanks to your car, our daughter's having the time of her life," I wasn't angry. I was amused, because I knew the ending long before they played their part. And when she asked, "What's so funny?" I just smiled and said, "Because the car you sold was already gone." Her lips trembled. "What do you mean?" I stepped closer. "You didn't sell my car. You sold your own freedom." She didn't laugh after that.